a set of teens, two teens that are in Rochester, New York, that allegedly set a man on fire in an apartment, and now they're facing murder charges. Now, these two teens who allegedly set a man on fire inside his own home in upstate New York last week are facing murder charges after the man died of his injuries on Tuesday. The boys, ages 14 and 16, very young, were initially charged with first-degree assault and second-degree arson after 53-year-old Stephen was doused with a flammable liquid and intentionally set on fire while he sat in a chair in his apartment on Friday. So the victim ran out of his apartment on fire about 5 minutes after he returned from a corner store at 12:30 p.m. He suffered second and third degree burns to more than 70% of his body and was rushed to burn the unit at Strong Memorial Hospital, where he died of his injuries shortly after 4 a.m. on Tuesday. So this is a crazy story here, because what you have is a situation where these two teens literally setting a guy on fire. And here's the thing. You're not going to hear about this in the mainstream media, by the way. They're not going to talk about this, ever. The reason why you're not going to hear about this is because both of the teams happen to be black. Is that the reason why they did it? I highly doubt it. But the point is that if the roles were reversed, you know for a fact that the mainstream media will be telling you the exact opposite thing. Just like when this guy shoots a bunch of people in these parlors, these massage parlors, they immediately look at the race and say, that's racist. Even though the guy says something completely different, they immediately attribute a motive regardless of what even the actual person that did it said. And the same thing in this situation is that I'm not going to do that for these people, and no conservative is. We're not going to look at this and say, well, it's only because they're black and because he was white. We're not going to say that. But we are going to look at it and say, this is why the media is not going to talk about it. We know what they would say if the roles were reversed. Either way, it's a extremely heinous act that these two teenagers committed. But once again, just showing the idea that the mainstream media controls exactly what most people know about, what they hear about in every aspect. Anything outside of that, you're probably not going to know about it because they don't want you to know about it because it doesn't fit with what they're trying to actually convey. The fact is that we don't know the exact motive for this particular situation. The police are still trying to figure that out. But events like this in this situation happen all the time. And either way, when you look at stories like this, it just shows that race isn't inherent to how we live. Just because you are a certain race doesn't mean that that is every aspect of what you do. That's why we don't have to view incidents like this specifically through that lens. It doesn't really matter, ultimately. It's about the act being evil, and that's it. That's what we can look at it as. We don't have to automatically go to race like the left oftentimes does. You just watched a clip from The William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.